Hi, welcome to a new book we're reading, The Homework Machine by Dan Gutman. In The Homework Machine, you're going to meet the D Squad, four fifth graders who have a homework machine called Belch that does their work for them. Let's see what it's all about. Introduction. Police Chief Rebecca Fish, Grand Canyon, Arizona. Seen a lot of strange stuff go down in 10 years working here. Probably has something to do with being so close to the canyon. Having a mile-deep hole in your backyard brings out the weirdness in folks. I remember that time the gambler from LA lost a bet in Los Angeles, and his friends drove him up here, forced him to parachute into the canyon. Guy almost died. You get all kinds in this part of the country. The canyon attracts them like flies to dogs. But this recent situation involving the children was one of the strangest cases I ever ran into. We called in everybody who had anything to do with what happened and taped their private testimony for the record. As far as I'm concerned, this case is closed and shut. Let's hope those four students learn their lesson. This will never happen again, that's for darn sure. Chapter 1, September. Sam Dawkins, grade 5. The police lady says me and Brenton and Judy and Kelsey have to each come in separately and talk about what happened. Okay, so here it goes. Is this thing on? My name is Sam Dawkins, but everybody calls me Snickwad, on account of that's my last name spelled backwards. Dawkins, Snickwad. Get it? Most kids call me Snick. It's kind of cool. Beats having a nickname like Boogerface or Fart Boy or something stupid like that. I was new to the school. I didn't know anything, and I didn't get kicked out of my old school because I refused to get a haircut. That's a lie. I don't know how that rumor got started. I don't care if you believe me. That's the truth. Anyway, my parents moved here from Oregon. My dad was in the Air Force, and that's why we moved to Arizona. He was assigned to Luke Air Force Base near Phoenix. The bottom line is, we messed up. Stuff happens. We're not perfect. We all feel bad. We won't do it again. What are you going to do? Throw us in jail? That's my statement. What? You need more than that? Details? Okay. What do you want to know? Kelsey Donnelly, grade 5. My name is Kelsey Donnelly. I really don't see the reason why we got to do this. The police lady told me that I have to make a statement in private and tell the whole story of what happened from the very beginning in September. Like, I'm a creep or something. I barely remember what happened last week. Forget about all the way back in September. Look, we're sorry about what happened. We were just having a little fun and it got out of hand. It's not like we robbed a bank or anything. That's my statement. I can't believe I have to spend my summer in this room with a tape recorder when I could be out having fun. Can I go now? Judy Douglas, grade 5. My name is Judy Douglas. My mom works at home and my dad works for the National Park Service. He cuts down dead trees and does controlled burns to prevent forest fires. The whole thing started because certain people who shall remain nameless did some thoughtless things that I don't need to discuss here. This is so unfair. I have almost straight A's and I'm in the gifted and talented program. I would never break the law or do anything dishonest. Things just got out of control. The next thing we knew, we had to go talk to the police. Do you have any idea of how humiliating this entire ordeal has been for me? Do you know how upset my parents were when they found out? And now this is going to be on my permanent record, probably for the rest of my life. If this keeps me out of law school someday, I will be so angry. I'll sue. That's what I'll do. Well, if I get into law school, I'll sue. But if I get into law school, I won't need to sue. Oh, I just wish I could just go to sleep and wake up and find out this was all a dream, like it never happened. Judy's mom. My first reaction was that it was a discrimination. We are one of the first African American families living in this area. When something bad happens to Judy, I can't help but wonder if it's bigotry at work. But I looked into it, and that wasn't the case. She and the others just did a dumb thing and they got caught. It's as simple as that, and now they're going to have to pay for it. Brenton Tamagotchi, grade 5. It's interesting how things happen sometimes. If I line up 10 dominoes and I push over the first one, the others will fall right on top of each other. But if I leave the first one alone, the other dominoes remain standing. Life is like that. The way your life plays out depends on which dominoes you choose to push over and which ones you leave alone. In this case, we pushed over the wrong domino. Can I get a drink of water or something? Miss Rasmussen, 5th grade teacher. I was so excited walking into my very own classroom for the first time in September. I had been a student teacher in Ohio, and I was hoping to get a job somewhere in the West, preferably near a national park. I've always been a nature lover, and I wanted to share this with young people. When I got an offer to teach fifth grade at the Grand Canyon School, well, it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. The Grand Canyon, I had never been there before. Just think. Over the course of 4 billion years, the Colorado River slowly sliced this gash in the earth. I spent hours exploring it when I moved here and took lots of pictures of the layers of rock. The Grand Canyon is like a sculpture created by nature. I was in awe. Judy Douglas, grade 5. When I walked into Miss Rasmussen's class on the first day of school, the first thing that struck me was that she was so young. I mean, she looked like she could have been one of the students. I liked that because I figured she would be really enthusiastic about everything. Some of the older teachers who have been teaching all their lives don't get too excited about anything anymore. On the other hand, I was afraid Miss Rasmussen might not be experienced enough to handle some of the boys, who can be a problem sometimes. Sam Dawkins, grade 5. So I walk into Miss Rasmussen's class on the first day of school in September, and I'm the new kid, so I'm a little nervous, and I don't want everybody looking at me. But they're all looking at me anyway because, well, I'm the new kid, and everybody wants to check out the new kid. I scope out the scene, and it's obvious who the cool kids are, who the dumb kids are, who the smart ones are, and who the dorks are. I could tell in a minute. The class had the usual number of clueless dweebs, pre-jock idiots, losers, brown-nosers, and bullies, just like my old school. But the one kid who stood out was Brenton. You just knew from the first time you set eyes on him that there was something different about that kid. Judy Douglas, grade 5. Brenton would dress funny with this stiff, long pants no matter how hot it was. He always wore a button-down shirt, and sometimes he would even wear a tie to school. Can you imagine? I guess his mom made him dress that way. I hope so anyway. I can't imagine a boy wearing a tie to school on his own. He was actually pretty good looking, but he combed his hair in a really weird way, like he parted it on the wrong side or something. Once I suggested to him that he would look better if he combed his hair the other way. He just looked at me like I was crazy. Like it hadn't even occurred to him that you could change your personal appearance to look better, or that it would matter. He probably had so many more important things in his mind, and he couldn't be bothered with something as trivial as combing his hair. Some of the other kids would make fun of him behind his back, some in front of his back. He didn't have any friends. Nobody seemed to know what to make of him. Sam Dawkins, grade 5. Brenton just came out and said the weirdest stuff. Like, one time he comes up to me and asked me if I know what they made a glass out of. I said no, and he said they make glass out of sand. I say that's interesting, even though I really don't think it's all that interesting. Then he gets that look in his eye and says they take sand and make it into glass. He says he figures that if he can turn sand into glass, just about anything is possible. I'm telling you, the guy is different. Kelsey Donnelly, grade 5. Brenton was a genius when it came to school and stuff, but he was real stupid when it came to other stuff. I remember one time this reality TV show was hot and everybody was talking about it. I mean everybody. And we were all at recess talking about it, and Brenton comes out and says something like, I never heard of that show. We all just looked at him. It was like not knowing the sun was in the sky, and they say I'm dumb. That's just the way Brenton is. He doesn't know or care about the stuff that normal people care about. We all thought he was a dork. Well, probably Judy didn't, because she's a genius too. Sam Dawkins, grade 5. Most kids at least try to act cool in some way. You know, like they'll get t-shirts with cool logos on them, or they'll get cool bikes or listen to cool music. They may not be cool themselves, but they make themselves cool by having cool stuff, or hanging around with cool people. But Brenton, he didn't even make the effort. Brenton Damagachi, grade 5. What does cool mean anyway? Did you know that Abraham Lincoln once said, that is cool? It's true. I looked it up. He said it is in his famous Cooper Union speech. Google it if you don't believe me. I feel that a person can change himself or herself no more than a giraffe can decide it doesn't like having a long neck. It would be easy enough to buy the latest clothes and watch the hottest TV shows and surround myself with cool things. But that doesn't make me cool. Nothing will ever make me cool. Some people are simply destined not to be cool. And I'm cool with that. If everybody was cool, everybody would be the same. Nobody would be cooler than anyone else. There would be nobody to make fun of, so I suppose I serve a purpose in a weird way. Well, that's an introduction to some of the four characters that you're going to meet as the story progresses. So we're going to see, why are they giving these statements to the police? What exactly happened? Stay tuned next time and we'll continue on with the story. Have a good day.